she would like to. So, with that,
I'll start now. So my name is Ruth Ann, and I am the Grants Associate for the Asian Pacific Community Fund, or APCF. APCF's mission is to cultivate philanthropists, to invest in organizations that empower underserved Asian and Pacific Islanders to prosper by building healthier communities, creating a stronger API voice, and developing API leaders. Our vision, this is my first time doing this. Our vision is a thriving API community fostered by a culture of philanthropy. We do this by providing personalized services to donors and by building the capacity of API nonprofits to make them sustainable. APCF sustains and grows the Asian and Pacific Islander, or API, nonprofit sector to ensure culturally appropriate services in language to our communities in need. We go beyond a traditional grantor-grantee relationship by providing an array of benefits to our network, including capacity building workshops as professional development for staff and volunteers, technical assistance on nonprofit governance, financial management and leadership development, grant syncing partnerships to leverage funding, notifications on funding opportunities, collective funding advocacy, marketing opportunities to highlight programs, events, and job postings. Finally, volunteer recruitment and placement assistance. In 2021, APCF's network of 62 nonprofit organizations serves API communities throughout Southern California. Annually, APCF and its network agencies provide programs and services in 34 API languages, in addition to English and Spanish, to over 2,570,000 people in need, of whom over 78% are low income. Do you all see, are you all seeing my slides?
Yes.
Okay, great. I thought I was talking into a void for a bit there. Sorry. So sustaining our Asian Pacific Islander nonprofits through capacity building programs. Our capacity building programs include workshops. They help sustain our nonprofits by giving the staff, board members, and volunteers the tools they need to succeed. Topics include marketing, event planning, HR law, and much more. Another program we have is Meet the Funders. Another capacity building program that's Meet the Funders. That's where we connect nonprofits with private, family, and corporate foundations to garner new or expanded funding. We have a board leadership program where we develop API leaders to serve on the boards of nonprofits by providing them the tools and skills to be a productive board member. And finally, we do API community van tours. That's where we take foundation officers into the community so they can see firsthand the work of our nonprofits and the needs of the community. So if you look at the capacity building workshops, we've had 30 workshops, 954 attendees, and 184 nonprofits attended. Meet the Funders, we've had 9 events, more than 290 nonprofits participated, 21 funders participated, and $1.4 million funding to API communities. Board leadership program, 163 professionals from 55 and more companies, 68% interned with a nonprofit board, with 46% joining a board permanently after the board leadership program was completed. And the API community van tours, we've had 200 officers from over 50 foundations, featuring 26 nonprofits over 120 miles in LA County. And that's, of course, just a chance for us to connect funders with foundations and nonprofits. Cultivating philanthropy in the API community with personalized donor services. So we have many programs and different ways of fundraising. One is our scholarship program. We partner with corporations and families to create scholarship opportunities for low-income students. We've had over 6,000 applications, 300 and more low-income students awarded about $1 million. We have donor-advised funds. We encourage philanthropy within the API community. So far, we've had 14 million donated and 4.78 million distributed. Because the way the donor-advised funds works is that you gather the money, but you can hold it in place. And then when you want to give, you give out. So that's why there's the number donated is higher than the number distributed. And then we have giving circles. This is when people come together to make impactful grants to deserving organizations. So far, we've had 108 grants and $337,000 plus distributed through the giving circles. Finally, we have our workplace giving campaigns. Like, oops, I'm so sorry. That should read like LA City. Okay, that does read LA City, okay. And then payroll deduction or one-time donations through your workplace to APCF or any of the 6 other fund distribution agencies. So that's what we do here with our group, Give to LA. Workplace giving campaigns, we've had over 26,000 donors give more than $4.4 million in funding to 159 plus nonprofits. Finally, we have our general operating support grant. And this is what our workplace giving campaign finances. So where do your donated dollars go? Launched in 2017, APCF has invested funds along with capacity building resources for organizations that serve API community members in need of most assistance. That's actually not right. We were launched in 1990. APCF has invested funds along with capacity building resources for organizations that serve API community members in need of the most assistance. Given the challenges faced by nonprofits in providing culturally appropriate services in language to the diverse API community in Los Angeles County, APCF annually awards grants of $5,000 to $15,000 to support the ongoing work and operations of these organizations. Since its founding, APCF's General Operating Support Grant, oh, I see, okay, the support grant came later, has awarded 63 grants, distributing nearly $430,000. These dollars come from donations made through payroll deductions, like the Give to LA workplace giving campaign. Since its founding in 1990, APCF has granted over $4.4 million to nearly 160 nonprofits throughout Southern California, all thanks to the generosity of workplace giving programs like yours. And finally, this is my contact information if anybody should have any questions. Obviously, I'll be available to answer questions right now, but if you think of questions later on, please feel free to contact me.
Any questions? Okay, I have one then, Ruth Ann. What's the most common service requested of APCF?
I think right now the donor advised funds are really big. Our executive director, Chen Chen, has been signing on people pretty actively. And that's the program where you give the money to us and you get a tax deduction right away, but the money becomes ours. And but you still get to decide where the money goes.
Sure. And then again, thank you for the presentation. And I'll get to you right in a moment, Pat. But you know, I'm sort of older, so if I don't ask the question right away, it just goes into the atmosphere, and a question will pop into somebody else's head. Since last year, when we know there was an uptick in violence toward the Asian population, are there any services or what has APCI done to address the growing concerns and violence against the community?
I think just I don't know if you know about a website called Stop AAPI Hate, kind of put up in part by Manju Kulkarni, the former, I think the executive director of what organization was previously called Asian Pacific Policy and Planning Council. And so I think that has been the main source of recording all the hate crimes that have been happening. I think for APCF, it's just a matter of being aware and connecting with the organizations that are dealing with these problems on the ground.
Mhm. Thank you. Pat?
Yes, Ruth Ann, your board leadership training, how do you do that? Do you do it, say, once or twice a year? And how do folks learn about it?
Well, the thing with the board leadership program, which we do a few times a year, is it's a requirement of our operating grant that the organization sends one person to be on the board leadership program. This is part of the idea, that raising money is not enough. You need to build the leadership skills.
Mhm.
So we want the organizations that we're giving operating grants to, that we're funding, to learn how to be more efficacious in all their activities. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you so very much. If there are any questions from our city employees, please feel free to ask.